Okay, I've got the AL66 keyboard here by YUNZII. I'm probably destroying that name. Comes a little bit of a oopsie there in shipping, but honestly, it's packed so well, it's fine. So first thing you get here is the it's a little quick start guide. On the back, you've got a lot of options here, and in fact, this is going to come in handy because you'll use the function key plus other keys to do volume up, Bluetooth 1, 2, 3. There's actually 3 different ways to use this. You can use a wired Bluetooth or 2.4 gigahertz via a USB dongle. The 3 Bluetooth is really nice. You could have a keyboard. You can have this keyboard set up for your tablet and your desktop or your laptop, what have you. So kind of a nice little guy there. You get a kind of a dust cover, which is actually kind of nice. Usually if you don't get something like this, you have to buy it, and it's usually acrylic, and it's usually expensive. And honestly, it doesn't really matter. It's just there to cover dust. You don't need anything fancy for that. So I do appreciate that. If you're kind of new to keyboards and this whole keyboard scene that's kind of exploded in the last couple of years, this is what I'm calling kind of a custom semi-custom keyboard. It has all the makings of a custom keyboard that you would build from scratch. Although it's obviously pre-built, it comes in at a price that's incredibly good. I think this is just under $100 or $99. Usually $100 gets you a keyboard with no switches, no keycaps. Sometimes you got to pick out some other things. It usually is never $100. So it's really good value. Now, you do get a few things. This is, USB-C to USB-A, standard keyboard cable, or, cable in general. It is Mac and Windows compatible, I would say, obviously, but, sometimes they don't. So you get these extra, this is obviously for Mac here, it's a command key. I can't find anything in the literature as to what this key is made out of. There's 2 main plastics that you generally see, ABS and PBT. I'm assuming this is probably ABS, and it's a double shot key. So essentially, if you're not new to if you're new to the keyboard scene, double shot basically means that this main color here is injection molded, and then to do the legend, like the command here, they inject the second color, which would be black here, and that's why you can kind of see both right there. What's kind of great about this style is that this is never going to wear out. You've probably seen old office keyboards where the legends are worn off. They're maybe even worn down to the fact that, because they're typically painted, you'll see like a clear plastic underneath, or it'll go from black to white to clear. These will never wear out. They'll get shiny. Maybe in an extreme case, you could wear through that gray outer layer, but I highly doubt it. So that's great. The downside is there's no shine through, so these are not going to light up at night. This keyboard does have RGB, but it's going to be more like a backlight than it is like an actual, light up keyboard for like gamers. It does come with a switch puller and a keycap puller, and that's what I was trying to get at with this kind of semi-custom. You can change the keycaps to any color that you like, any style that you like. There's so many out there. This hobby, as most of us call it, has really exploded since the global thing that happened. I don't know if I can still say that or not, but so there's a lot of options out there. A lot of key caps can cost you a lot of money because some of them come from Germany. There's a lot of good options that are not the main company out of Germany. So don't get too discouraged. You can usually find some good alternatives on Amazon, for instance. Now, I'm just going to kind of show you here. We'll pull off like the L key. And it comes with what they're calling the white milk switches here. And I don't know what that means. I've never really heard of the white milk. This is probably their own design. I don't know what switch manufacturer actually makes this. It's probably one of the main ones, but it doesn't look, it looks, yeah, it's actually branded YUNZII. Another interesting thing is it's a linear switch. There's 3 different types of switches. Linear, which is no bump, very smooth. And there's a tactile switch that is generally silent, but it is You can feel a bump as you press it. And there's also the clicky, where there's kind of an audible click and a tactile feel. Those generally annoy your neighbors in an office because they're very loud. This is a linear. It's very quiet. I'll let you listen to it here. It's very smooth. They are factory lubed. Now, it's another thing in this keyboard hobby is we open up these switches individually. We lube them so they're very smooth, and it kind of cuts down on the spring noise. It also kind of softens the plastic on plastic sound, so it sounds nice. Also, what's kind of nice to see, is kind of crazy, that white part down there, that's actually PE foam. It's a common mod in the keyboarding world that kind of, it goes between the switch and the PCB that holds the switch to kind of help enhance the sound, kind of isolates the switch a little bit. As you can also see, is there's foam between this polycarbonate switch plate that's actually the switch clicks into, and the PCB down below, and there's foam in there too. So that's really, really actually nice to see. You know, like I said, for $100, you're getting a lot of keyboard here. Usually you don't see any of that. Switch just pops back in just like that, and there you go. In this particular keyboard, I want to say it's pretty hefty, maybe 2.5 pounds, maybe even 3 pounds. This entire body is aluminum. It's a 2-piece aluminum body. It's very nice. Anodized. There's a little machining mark there, but honestly, I mean, you're not going to see that. On the back, you got a bunch of switches here. You got your Windows and Mac switch. You got your USB-C for connecting it to your computer. You also have the 3 different options of connection. Line is going to be just standard USB connection. You've got your 2.4. Just switch that over. That'll be for wireless, and that is your little dongle right here. You just plug that into your USB port. It's kind of nice. Kind of sits right there. You don't lose it. Left side is Bluetooth, which will not require the USB, but you're going to need to make sure that you have Bluetooth on whatever device you're connecting it to. Here's the bottom. Very clean. Very clean. Get your 3 rubber feet there. Looks like 8 screws to take it apart. We're not going to take it apart on this video. I just kind of want to go through kind of what you're getting for this, for the money. And honestly, you're getting quite a bit. Now, like I said, you're getting a lot, but as you can kind of see, the legends, and some people don't care about this, but the legends aren't perfect. Like the M is definitely thicker than some of these other ones. They're not super consistent, but they're also not bad. I've seen much worse. Not bad, really. And it's kind of, this is a silver body with kind of an off-white with a gray, very light gray. I don't know if that's even going to show up on camera. And these kind of, this is supposed to be black, but I'll be honest, it's kind of just a darker gray. I don't know if they meant it to be black or gray, but either way, it does look nice. You got a little knob up here. It clicks. So usually that's mute or play stop, and then this is volume. Pretty good tactility. A little wobbly, but honestly, that's nitpicking. You're never going to care about that in general use. This is a 65%. I think they're calling it 66%, hence the name 66. I think it's because of the knob. I don't really count that as... I think this is more like a 66%, meaning 66% or 65%, sorry, I keep saying it now. 65% of what a full-size 108 or 110 key board would look like. And that's like, you know, your F row up here, your numpad, your arrow key, all that stuff. So it is fairly compact. You do, with the 65, you get to retain these separate arrow keys. This is a great beginner kind of small size keyboard. People do not want to give up these. With a 60%, you'll lose that. You're essentially getting this with a 60%. These arrows will not be here. It'll just be the Alt, System, and Control buttons here, and none of these buttons. With a 65, you get to keep these guys, and you get a couple extra buttons here, which are probably reprogrammable. So, what we'll do, I'm going to do a little bit of a sound test. Then we'll plug it. Oh, actually, let's plug it in now. We'll take a look. Okay, let me turn off a couple of these lights here to see if we can see what the RGB looks like. Oh, it's really nice actually. So like I said, they're not shine through keycaps, so you're getting more of a backlight. And I'll be honest, most people in the enthusiast market for keyboards aren't really caring too much about RGB. A lot of people turn them off. You do have your side glow, really well diffused actually. Gives you a little bit of a it's kind of cool. I mean, honestly, I like RGB. I usually set it to a single, color. I'm sure there's a key function. Oh, thanks. There you go. There's a bunch of key functions to kind of switch the colors and the design that's going on here. But let's take a look. Let's do kind of a listen. I'm going to move the microphone here so you can kind of hear what the switches sound like. Okay, well, okay, so honestly, sounds pretty good. The stabilizers are lubed. Obviously, they sound too good to not be lubed. If you're not, like I said, if you're not really familiar with the keyboarding world in this level, keys that need stabilizers are usually these longer modifiers, the space bar, the shift, the enter key. Basically, there's a wire in 2 additional places for that key to be connected to the switch. That means so that when you're pressing on the very edge of these keys, the whole switch can go down evenly and not get kind of, locked up or cockeyed, what have you. And so usually keyboards that have bad stabilizers or unlubed stabilizers, this is where the rattle comes from, and they usually sound terrible. Now, my backspace probably could use a little more lube, but honestly, that's pretty nitpicky. Not many people are going to hear that. The enter key is wonderful. The space bar is wonderful. And the other shift is wonderful. The alpha keys sound really good. So next, let's go ahead and let's do a quick typing test so you can kind of hear how this guy sounds when you're typing. I'm going to move the microphone again so you can kind of hear it. There we go. Actually, it sounds really good. I will have to admit, usually at this price point, you are doing quite a bit of tuning to get this keyboard to sound as nice as this. It really has kind of the community kind of refers to this as a thocky or even kind of a poppy sound. It actually does sound very good for, about $100. The keys, the keycaps, like I said, I think they're an ABS, just the way they kind of sound, and from my experience. Overall, I don't know that you can really go wrong. At $100, you're getting what I believe is a quality keyboard here. You get the ability to customize it. If you don't like these switches, later on down the line, you can upgrade. I say upgrade, but maybe it's more out of preference, to be honest. The keyboard world is all about preference. So let's say you like a tactile, let's say you like a clicky. Maybe you just want a stronger sprung key switch. You can do that on this. You can pull these keycaps off and pull the switch like I showed earlier. But honestly, if you wanted to get a keyboard that's nice, that looks good on your desk, sounds great. Honestly, I'm still kind of getting over that this is $100. It sounds like this. People would spend much more than that to get a keyboard to sound at least this good, or at least to have this profile of sound. Usually, even at $100, you would drop in quite a bit of different mods to get this to work. But it's great. I mean, honestly, this is a very solid keyboard. It feels really good. It's like I said, it's all aluminum. There's no plastic on this thing outside, except for, you know, the diffuser there. The seam is actually, yeah, I've seen worse seams between the top case and the bottom case. But that's about it. I will probably be a little more detailed in the written part of the review, but this is honestly a very solid board. I don't know that you can really go wrong at $100. I mean, it's good. It's nice. Go get one if you can get one.